Hi, I'm Nick from Global Office, and today we're talking about the latest project that we've delivered, the fill application. Well, when the fill team first came to us, they had a really simple request. Someone grabs their phone, says where their car is, chooses the type of fuel, and schedules a delivery, and that was it. And it sounds really simple, doesn't it? But actually, that simplicity has to be supported by quite some serious technology behind the scenes. The process that we use when we're starting off with something like this, where there are some unknown challenges, is to research it as much as we can. So looking at documentation, talking to experts in that subject matter, even the manufacturer of certain things, if we can talk to them and understand specifically how things might work, or seeing it being used in practice if that's possible. Sometimes it's not, but sometimes you can go and find someone who's actually using the product. Try to do a bit of that research beforehand is the first step. And then the second step is to try and build a prototype where we can confirm that we can work with whatever it is that we're working with. But the very last step is in-field trial. And it's, I guess it's a form of testing really. It's making sure that all of the stuff that we think it can do and that we've proved in a lab or in our office that it can do actually works in the field. One of the major problems we had to overcome was working with the registers, which control the fuel flow in and out of the trucks. The registers that came to us for testing were configured in a particular way. And so when we were doing our prototyping and checking the communications, a lot of the settings were default settings that had been applied to the register. And interestingly enough, those settings were not perfect, but they were great for New Zealand, for our fuel, working in litres and all of that sort of stuff. And so we built this little prototype to talk to the registers, and it worked great. Then when we started rolling out or fleshing out the service a little bit more, each truck has two registers on it, one register for the 91 fuel and another for diesel. So in order to make sure that we could communicate with linked registers, we procured another register and we joined them up and we started talking to it, and then we found that the second register didn't have the same default settings as the first one. And it turns out that the manufacturer doesn't guarantee or set a baseline set of settings. Straight away we had to change how we were dealing with talking to them to make sure that the register met all the configuration settings that we needed right from the start. So we had to kind of extend our process a wee bit to build a register provisioning tool where we could connect to the register and have it set up in the way that we want and validate that it's set up in the way that we want before we were satisfied that we could talk to it. So it was kind of like a pre-step. We couldn't just assume that the register was going to be delivered the way that we needed. So that was an interesting challenge, which we obviously overcame. And then when we started using the registers in the field, so they got wired into the trucks and we did some field testing, we found that the communication between the phone and the Bluetooth receiver on the register was not that reliable. And it turns out that it was where the Bluetooth receiver was being placed. So originally it was being placed in the truck behind an area in the dash, and it was obscuring the connection between the phone and the register. So we had to reposition that, and then there were some other challenges related to connectivity as well, with interference from Bluetooth headsets and bits and pieces. Those things are part of the design process. You don't know until you experience them, and that was the purpose of doing field trials. So we were able to overcome that, and the next step is actually including a big Bluetooth antenna on the truck, so it's just a bit more robust. But it was good because we did it all before anything went live, so we were confident that when the application rolled out that it was doing what it needed to do. If you like the Fill app and you've got an app idea of your own and you'd like to talk to us, give us a call or get in touch through our website at any time.